A collision with purpose, in pursuit of purpose.
Hello everyone, and welcome to In the Spotlight, the home of unfiltered conversation. This is where real talk is what we do, and my name is none other than Donna Thompson.
And I am Dr. Laxley Stephenson, and together we are your moderators.
Ooh.
What? Get a drum roll for that? Okay. All right. So, Donna, what is cooking today in a collision with purpose world? What we got going on?
So, of course, my favorite thing is none other than, oh my gosh. Today, we had the privilege of visiting the spot where March 2nd is where it's going down at Shiloh High School. So that was actually a great experience for Collision with Purpose. We were on site, checking out the venue and just getting ready for everyone to join us, looking at the lay of the land and all that good stuff. So that was exciting today.
Yeah, that was quite exciting, just meeting up with some of the folks from the school, from the high school, going onto their campus and understanding that we're going to be collaborating with them on this event. We're going to do some stuff. So this is really going to be a true colloquium. In fact, this is going to be very inspiring, very motivational, and just overall empowering. You come to our event on March 2nd, and you will be in the empowerment zone. That's what this is all about. It's going to be exciting. All kinds of good stuff going to be going down there. We'll have students participating in the program, not just as honorees, but also as active participants in making this show come to life. So big stuff happening there. So what else is happening? I know that's not it. That's not the only thing that is going on.
No, of course not. That's not the only thing that's going on. Definitely want to, go ahead and say that if you have not pre-ordered your copy of this great masterpiece, A Collision with Purpose, in Pursuit of Purpose, go ahead and pre-order your copy today at our website. And of course, that's none other than www.acollisionwithpurpose.com. So go ahead and get your copy today. So that's out, of course. And
before you go there, can I read something from this book, In Pursuit of Purpose?
Oh, yeah.
In life, we all experience pain and suffering in different forms, whether physical, emotional, or spiritual, leaving us feeling lost. But what if I tell you that pain, defiance, and destiny could unlock your true calling in life? And that is the essence of this book. So much to gain from reading this book. Go out there and get it. And I also want to add that if you purchase this book on our website, acollisionwithpurpose.com, $5 from each sale, each book sold will go to a Collision with Purpose College Fund. And that's a big deal because there's so many students out there in underserved communities that are in need of funds just so they can go to school. So that's a huge, big deal. So go out there, purchase your book, get it now.
Absolutely. So if you haven't gotten your copy, go ahead and get it.
What else is happening?
So what else we have? Of course, we have, Unearthing You, your guide to self-discovery and personal growth. Like we've encouraged you all for the past several months, go ahead and get your guide currently. Of course, it's a number of exercises that you will have to do. And it's definitely, when it says about unearthing you, it's really unearthing yourself. And just help, it's just a guide to help you to become the best version of who you are. So, it's very powerful, very in-depth. And if you're wanting to improve on yourself in any capacity in your life, whether it's finances, relationship, spirituality, whatever it is, I urge you to get this guide because it will get you back on track if you're falling off track. So I encourage you to get that. And also, of course, Dr. Stephenson, you can speak about all the other great stuff that we have.
Well, guess what? One just popped up backstage. Should I bring him on?
Oh, wow. Yes.
Oh, here he is. He just popped up backstage out of nowhere. Welcome, one. Always good to see you.
Hello, hello.
What a pleasant surprise.
I thought I'd, just jump in and swing by, say hello.
Well, you're always welcome to come on stage. Donna and I, we're talking about Unearthing You, your guide to self-discovery and personal growth. Donna, do you have a favorite exercise in this book?
Favorite exercise, I would definitely say, it's hard. It's really, honestly speaking, it's really hard to say I have a favorite because they're all so powerful and impactful that it's definitely a little bit difficult. But I think one of the things that I certainly like is living on purpose. It's one of the exercises that I do like is absolutely living on purpose. And, it's very important because we all want to be living on purpose. I would think that we all want to be living on purpose or figure it out, right? So right. I think that's one thing that definitely, jumps out at me. And also, just knowing what your passions and your interests are as well. Yeah. And how you align those things with living on purpose. So they're all, Dr. Stephenson, like I said, they're all so powerful that it's like, how do you even say which is your favorite?
well, I'm in the same boat, but there's a thing in this book, a section, goals and aspirations. And knowing your goals and aspirations is crucial for personal growth and fulfillment. It provides direction and purpose, guiding your choices and actions towards what truly matters to you. So, one, you can jump in, and tell us why it is important to go through this process of self-discovery and personal growth.
I can speak from just for myself. This my personal walk and journey. I felt like I was wandering. I'll say that I was wandering and just aimlessly, right? So I'm just out there, and I feel like I heard one time that, when you shoot an arrow, you should do it with intention, and I felt like what I was doing and what my life was, I was just shooting up in the air and just hoping to land somewhere. And so there was no real target or concentration or focus for my life until I just start doing my work to figure out what my purpose was. So that's why I think it's so imperative to go into self-discovery and learn your purpose.
Powerful. There's such a thing as flock shooting, right? You just go out there and just toss it up there and hope
Yeah,
that it hits something. You know, what you're talking about has been very intentional. You know,
absolutely.
just
Absolutely.
make sure you take aim, you know where you're heading, you know who you are, what you're all about. You know, so you're not just out there fishing, right? Just tossing it and
Right.
hoping. You know what you're fishing for. And
Absolutely.
yeah, Donna, what else we have going on, Donna? You know, one, you know, Donna and I went to the venue, Shiloh High School. Man, what a venue!
Nice.
What an auditorium! What a theater! What a place! And you know, we had conversations with Dr. Gore, who is one of the person over there, and she's so excited. She went as far as to say that it's rare that they would advertise an event on their platform, but they're advertising this one because of what it is and the implications for students, you know,
Yeah.
to understand and focus and know more about their purpose. So they're taking this to another level. So, you know, encouraging our listeners who are watching, become a part of this. This is a big event that we're going to be having. It's a huge, huge event. You know, just going there and the energy just from walking into that
Yeah.
place. So
Yes.
powerful.
Yes.
So we're really encouraging, if you're out there listening, get your ticket. It's on our website. Get your ticket. Be a part of something big, something bigger than you. You know, join the it's a movement, right?
It is a movement.
It's
It is a movement that you want to be a part of. You don't want to miss it. And to come in and see community, you know, and see all these remarkable people who are almost like activists in their communities. They are working on behalf to ensure that life is better for people other than themselves. So just to see them, celebrate them, and just be amongst them is just going to be an experience. You don't want to miss it.
and this is a big month, isn't it?
Yes.
What is happening this month? Why it's so big?
March or February. This month here, February.
Yeah, this month, big month, right? We're in a
February
big
Black
month.
Black History.
Amen. And
Look, and you know, it's I would say this with legends in the making. That's why it's this month is so big. You know, we often commemorate, you know, the shoulders, the soldiers that went before us and that we're standing on. But there are so many living legends amongst us
absolutely,
that
absolutely.
are making history.
Unsung heroes, right?
Yes,
You know, we're
absolutely.
honoring 12 so far.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And we're not just honoring them from Atlanta. They're coming from all over. As far as Kenya.
That's what I love about this. It's global. That's what the world looks like now. It's globalized, you know, international networking. So
And in a few minutes, I'm going to play a video with the collaborators, and you know, that made this possible, a collision with purpose in pursuit of purpose book. And of course, you're a collaborator on it, and you know, powerful story that is yours. And we'll be playing a video that will show some of the collaborators, most of them, and you'll see the makeup. We have people from different countries, different states. We have Canada, we have Indonesia, we have
wow.
Bulgaria, France, and America, and Jamaica.
It's like an international book.
Yeah.
Indeed, it is. It is. So, you know, it's a big thing. It's a big thing, big thing, big thing. So, what else is happening, Donna? Because we want to talk a little bit. You know, we have our guests backstage. We're having some technical difficulties, so we're working on that. So she'll be coming on in the next segment, and hopefully, we will have resolved, you know, this thing with the internet. You know, we're coming across the internet, so all things are possible, right? But we're looking to have her on in the next segment. But Donna, what are some other things that are going on?
Okay, so of course we definitely spoke about our books that we have. We have our apparel line, definitely that is out for sale. So go ahead and you can make your purchase there as well. And of course, there you go, I am walking in purpose. I love that. I am walking in purpose. Just picture yourself in the park walking.
But
I
see,
am walking in purpose. Created for.
if I can only hold it straight, the reason why I'm walking in purpose is because I was created for purpose.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you know, that's why I'm walking in purpose, right? Because created for purpose. But something big happened because we started just yesterday. We opened up our a parallel company in Kenya. That's a big deal, right?
Oh, I didn't know that I was supposed to just now, but there you have it.
So we're in Kenya with our hoodies and our shirts and many other things to come. So that's huge. That is no small undertaking right there.
No, not at
So
all.
we're up and running there with that. But the big thing is this event, as Donna, you named it, you call it a colloquium, you know, in pursuit of purpose. And that is such a big deal because we're going to make some serious announcement because we have the scholarship fund that we're working. And that's huge. We have the Learn Academy.
That's coming up. Yep.
Yeah. We'll be providing online, you know, on demand
Programming. Yeah.
For you know, if you want to get in there and do your guide on there and other programs, wow, that's a big deal. So many things that are happening, that so much to talk about. You know, we'll have some other announcements as well. Some other announcements. So we have another book coming up, and you know, I have my co-host on. One is on for Bridging Generations. That's a big deal.
Yes,
You know,
it's picking up.
the
It's
feedback
already
is amazing.
gaining traction.
The feedback is amazing, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. And matter of fact, I was at an event today. A good friend of mine, she actually got the city of Atlanta made a proclamation today on her behalf. Today is her day. In the city of Atlanta. So I was there and I was talking to one person from her team, and she said that she was like, "Hey, Juan, I saw you the other day. I see you were on live. Something about generation." She said, but it was, you know, men's. It was a pretty good conversation. And I was like, wow, you don't know who's watching. You never know, you know, and these are folks that I don't talk to daily, but just happen to see the broadcast. So
You know,
live.
we don't know who is watching, but we know the right people are watching.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
we know they're watching, and they're really watching, because I had calls all the way from Jamaica and said, that thing you're doing, Voices of Men, sometimes they forget the Bridging Generations part, right? And they say Voices of Men. They said that thing you all are doing is something that is needed.
Yes.
Men getting on there, different age group, and talking about stuff. And Donna, I know Donna is going to say something about that, because Donna believes that this is not just a thing about men.
No, I don't. Of course, you know, I don't. I believe it's very, you know, like I said before last week, it's a very powerful platform for our men, where their voices need to be heard. But I also encourage our women to join the platform, listening, even to partake, because perceptions that a lot of women have, it's their perceptions, they're not real. And sometimes we're putting we have these guidelines and all these different things that we're saying, oh, you know, a man is supposed to do this, da 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 da, you know, a whole list of stuff. And we tend to negate the fact that you're talking about a human being, someone who has feelings. You know, someone who has feelings. Like, if you hit them, they're gonna hurt. You know, they can cry too.
They still bleed.
And they still bleed. Right. Exactly. So I think it's also very important for our women to be a part of this, so that they too can hear and learn and understand that men have feelings. We need to be responsible how we behave and how we treat our men. Even I'll go as deep as, and I take this very, 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 very seriously, even as a mother raising a young man. You can make or break, in my opinion, you can make or break that individual. You're responsible for that life. And as a mother, it is also upon you to treat your son in a way so that he can now become a good husband and he knows how he should be treated. Like if you're like slapping your son over the head and you're cursing at him and all, that's not showing love and compassion. You know, you're supposed to show the nurturing of a woman. That's what you're supposed to do. So anyways, I can go on. It can be a totally different show. So women need to be a part of that.
I'm getting an idea. Maybe we need to bring Donna on.
I agree. Because there's so much to unpack just in what she just shared. So that's a whole conversation, whole show right there.
Yeah, we need to bring her on. We need to bring her on as a guest. So, but I think it's a good time, for us to segment now into a break because we have Miss Campbell waiting, to come on. So let's take a quick break. And for our guests who are watching, listening, at the end of this video, you will see some of the collaborators in A Collision with Purpose in Pursuit of Purpose book. So check it out, and we'll be back with Miss Campbell shortly.
A Collision with Purpose in Pursuit of Purpose.
Man, is that a lineup or what?
Oh yeah, that's powerful.
Some heavy hitters.
Heavy hitters from all over the place. Now let's bring Miss Campbell. Donna, you're the one. Let's introduce Miss Campbell. We'll pop her on the screen. Let's introduce her, please.
Sure. So we welcome none other than Miss Paula Thornton Campbell. And I'm just going to give you a little bit about Miss Campbell. So Miss Campbell is a wife and a mother. See, she has a very important job there, being a mother, being a mommy. She's an accomplished writer with several published articles, including Essence Magazine. And she's an advocate for mental health and emotional health. In her spare time, she enjoys spending time with her grandsons. So we welcome none other than Miss Campbell.
Hi.
So good to see you, Miss Campbell.
Got it.
Let's get the drum roll right. That drum roll there, right?
Okay. She's coming back to do the drum roll.
And let me add, best-selling author.
Yes, sir.
It's a big deal. Let's get it in there.
That caught me by surprise when it went #1 on Amazon. Yes,
wow.
Bestseller.
Wow, love that.
That's major. That is major.
Yes.
So, Miss Campbell, let's get us started. Who is Miss Campbell? Can you tell us something?
Miss Campbell is very real. I can sometimes be very raw, upfront, kind of in your face, especially when I'm passionate about something such as mental health. I'm full of compassion. I guess some people would say I'm an empath. I tend to feel what other people are feeling. And that can sometimes make me a little sensitive.
I like that you say raw, because this is a show for raw and filtered conversation. So anything you want to say, feel free to say. This is your
Okay.
show. There's no holding back here. No
Okay.
holding. So what you going to tell us today, Ms. Cannon? What you want to talk about? Tell us what you want to talk about.
Well, I want to talk about, what exactly purpose means to me, and the way that God has been dealing with me lately. It's more profound than ever what my purpose is. He's making that very clear because he won't allow me to do anything else except things like this, where I'm speaking about mental health and emotional well-being. It's been very trying. I've been hard-headed trying to run from my purpose, but I'm ready to settle in now. My arms are too short to box with God.
That's a big one right there.
Yeah.
Talk to Miss Campbell one, because I know you have some things that you want to share and talk to her and ask her.
Well, when you think about purpose, the very definition is, that which someone is called to do something, the reason why something exists. We all have a purpose on earth. I don't believe that purpose can be thwarted. It can sometimes be postponed or put aside, but it's never truly thwarted. I think that God has a way of bringing you full circle. For example, I recently relocated back to my hometown of Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina, and I didn't have my feet in the ground yet before a couple of friends were reaching out to me, telling me that they were battling with mental health. They were battling with depression and anxiety. And so, again, a light bulb went off where I said, okay, I hear you, God. This is you telling me, daughter, these women need your help. They need for you to be real. They need for you to be raw. They need for you to be in their face, telling them depression is real. Mental illness is very real. It affects millions of people. In fact, I think if more people got mental help, there wouldn't be so much crime in the world. I'm not afraid to say I have actually spent time in a mental facility, and it did a world of good for me. I learned a lot. Of course, I was not happy to be there in the beginning, but I learned so much from so many different amazing people with gifts that are sat on because of their mental health. That is the one thing about mental health that is so disheartening, is that it can hold you back from doing the things that you want to do in life. It can steal your joy away. And that is where you have to have a God sense. Get on your knees and pray. Ask God to, in addition with medication, of course, and therapy, you have to face this thing head on. It's an illness just like heart disease, gut disease, cancer, and it can be treated.
Mental health is one of those things that too many of us don't want to take ownership. We run away from it. When we hear mental health, we run away. We disappear.
Yeah.
And why is that? Why do you believe that is so?
I believe that's so because society has stigmatized what mental health is about, especially in the African American community. When I was growing up, you did not seek mental health. You went to church or you prayed. I mean, that was just what it was. There was no such thing as going to see a psychiatrist or a psychologist or being on medication. It's definitely been stigmatized because you're labeled crazy. I think about the term hysterectomy, hysteria, and that term came about when women were down on their emotional health. So what did people do? They gave them hysterectomies because they thought it was related to that. But definitely there is a dark stigma around mental health. I think that we have gotten better, and that it's coming to light that there needs to be more information about mental health and how serious it is, because without mental health, there is no health. If you don't have your faculties in your mind, then there's nothing else that matters. You're just merely existing. You can't achieve anything without your mental health being in good shape. And the brain is such a fascinating organ. I study the brain. I study up under a doctor named Dr. Amen, and he does brain spec imaging, where he actually takes a picture of the brain to find out what treatment will be right for the person. And it's phenomenal what he's doing in mental health.
And so much more to be done. Mental health. We've just done it. We haven't tipped the thing. We got so much work to do. Donna and Juan, let's talk to Ms. Campbell. I'm sure you have some questions for her.
Well, I was gonna ask, you talked about, well, you opened up with talking about, it's good to see you, first of all.
Hi, Juan.
But you talked about, running from purpose and God not allowing you to do anything else until you, I guess, just you kind of center, and sit on, what he has you to be focused on now. Are you saying that that's now in this time of your life is focused on just talking more about mental health and the severity of it and getting help? Is that okay?
Yeah, right now at this point in my life, that is my focus. I'll be 56 in April, and I have 3 adult children, 2 small grandchildren, but I spent time taking care of them and helping them out in their lives. Now it's my time. It's time for my purpose. Purpose can't be thwarted. Like I said, it can be postponed and put on the back burner, but it's only a matter of time before it will come back full circle and hit you right between the eyes.
So that's interesting, and we're, of course, we're having a conversation about walking in purpose. What is that? You just said something. What does that look and sound like when you are at a place in life where there's something else that you're not doing, and is it a conversation? How do you how does it brought to your attention that there's more, that this is not it, that this is not the only thing? What does that look like?
It's a knowing. I don't know how to explain it except to say it's a knowing. You just feel it in your gut that there's more that you're supposed to be doing. No matter how successful you are in your career, whatever your career choice is, I think that there is a greater purpose behind that. The word tells us that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, and that we are created for a purpose. And I think there's a small, still voice that talks to you and tells you, okay, I have something better for you to do. I have a work for you to do. I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, but to give you a future and a hope.
So something is not sitting right with you when you're not walking in your purpose.
Exactly.
But you continue to fight it, to battle it, to say, I'm not going to do it.
Yes, I did.
What is that thing that trigger? Say, I need to get back on the, get back on the rail.
I was tired. I was tired of running from God. I'm like, okay, Lord, I hear you. And my ego just could not take any more no's from trying to find a job. My ego couldn't take it. It was just messing with my self-esteem. So I was like, okay, God, you opened up the doors to where I can glorify you with my purpose and help others.
And I ask that question not just for you, because I know there's so many individuals out there that are fighting. They're resisting. Resisting, and they know what it is that they should be doing, what they're called to do. But they're this major resistance. They're living in this resistance space, where I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So, I just wanted you to say that, because it's not just you, but so many of us.
Purpose can be scary. It can be scary sometimes to move away from that which you've gotten so comfortable with. You're getting out of your comfort zone sometimes when you're following through with your purpose. I know for me, it's very uncomfortable even to sit here and talk. I'm so nervous, I'm shaking. But I think that's a telltale sign too. When you're walking in your purpose, you don't want to fail. You don't want to fail. So the nerves come in. You want to present yourself in a way that is going to be helpful.
You know, the best story that I've heard about resisting purpose, one, you told that story about Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. That's
a great story. Maybe you can share that.
It's interesting you say that, because I would tell my students that, and one of my guys to this day, he always brings it back and says, Mr. Juan, I still remember when you told me that story about Superman. And I go back to it every time I'm just struggling with something. But anyway, long short of it, it was one of the Superman series. I think it's Superman 2 from the 80s, early 90s with Christopher Reeves. And so, of course, we know the story. He meets what is his wife? What is the girl's name? Is it Lois Lane?
Lois Lane.
He meets Lois Lane, and he sees that all of these other people can fall in love. They have families. They get to go on and do what he thinks is normal living, a normal life. And so he falls in love with her but he knows that if he allows her to come into his life, he could risk losing her, because then of course his enemies will try to take her out. And so he wanted to rather live normal. He didn't want to be a superhero anymore. He didn't want to save people. And so in the second one, he struggled with it. So he just gave it up. And while he's trying to live a normal life, be in love with Lois Lane, and just do what everybody else is doing, he's just watching the enemy just destroy the city, killing people. He sees these people devastated and oppressed and everything, and he tries to ignore it. And the more he tries to ignore it, it just keeps ringing. He can't go anywhere where there's not a need for him, And so he goes back home. And then he talks to his parents, and they tell him, he was like, you were created for this. You can't get away from this. Mm-hmm. And the more you sit on it, the more people die. This is just the life that you have to live. And then just in that movie, I realized that, so oftentimes you touched on this, that we run from it. We don't want to do it. We want to do what we want to do. We want to feel how we want to feel and all those different things, and not realizing that there are people who are waiting on us to walk in purpose, who may need to be rescued, or need to hear, like you said, Mrs. Campbell, the message about how important mental health is, or even tips on how to be able to recognize certain things. And the more we run, people are dying.
Exactly.
People are left in oppression. People are left even struggling to even figure out what their purpose is. Sometimes we are that God sent, So I always go back to that story, how he ran and ran and ran, and he just watched people die. He couldn't live with it anymore. He had to just accept his calling, his purpose, and he got back to being Superman.
So, Ms. Campbell, you have experienced that.
Definitely, I have. Like as I said, my self-esteem could not take any more hits, and it's time. I just feel a peace in my spirit that now is the time. It is my season to come forth and just bear my heart, my soul into what I feel my passion is, and that is teaching people about mental health and emotional well-being.
So we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about what's next. Now that you're where you are, what's next? So let's take a quick break and bring it back. I'm going to take a good look at this again. We're going to show the collaborators in the A Collision with Purpose, in Pursuit of Purpose book, that blockbuster book that's about to hit the bookshelves. Is that what they call it, Juan?
Yeah.
All right. So let me play this, take a quick break, guys, and we come back.
A Collision with Purpose, in Pursuit of Purpose.
Right, we're back. We're back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Just want to our listeners to share this broadcast. Share it. This is powerful information. Don't keep it to yourself. If you have a choice to be a river or a lake, what would you rather be?
Oh, that's good.
I'm a river.
Yeah.
And, they say the lake contain and store all its resources. They're not about sharing. The river deposits along the banks. Let's be a river. Let's share this broadcast. So, welcome back, Ms. Campbell. Question: How can you support someone? How should you support someone who's struggling with depression?
Listen to them. People really want to be heard, especially when you are in darkness, because that's what depression is. Even on brain spec imaging, the brain is dark where there should be light places. So the best thing you can do is to listen. Let them know that you're there for them. It's a lonely place to be when you're in that much pain, because you want to hide it. You really do. And it's important for loved ones to recognize the signs of depression and mental illness. And it could be that they are pulling away and they're isolating themselves, not eating too much, drinking more, weight loss or significant weight gain. The best thing a person can do is to be there to listen and just to say, I got you. I'm here for you. I know for me that is what is important to me. My family has been amazing on this journey with my emotional and mental mental well-being. They have been just so supportive in listening, even when I'm crying. I have what I call wailing partners, where I call friends. It can be 3 a.m, and I call them up and I just want to cry to get it all out. And they're there to listen. And that means the world to me. It really makes a lot of difference in someone's life who's battling mental illness.
Now that you say that, I'm thinking there's so many individuals out there who, different generations, and what kind of signs should we look for to know if a person is suffering from depression?
I think the first sign that would be the most obvious one is sleeping too much. Depression is exhausting. It just drains you of all of your energy. So sleeping would definitely be the first sign. The second sign would be isolation. You don't want to be around anyone when you're depressed because you feel like everyone can see it. And then there are those that try to hide it, and they smile and put on a front for what they consider to be taboo. So definitely sleeping, eating too much, eating too little, significant weight loss. I see that a lot in depression. A lot of people, you just don't have an appetite. It's amazing how the brain affects every aspect of your body. It controls, your hunger, the way you think. There's different parts of the brain that serve different areas.
Do you see that more in certain generations, different age group and gender?
Yes, it's more prevalent. Well, I can't say that it's more prevalent now. I think it's being talked about more now with this generation. Suicide has been around forever, but now suicide is in the top 10 leading causes of death between people age 8 years old to 65. 8 years old and you're having thoughts of suicide. That just blows my mind that some 8-year-old can feel that low to where they want to take their lives. And it just shows you how prevalent mental illness is. I can't say enough about how important it is for family to check on your loved ones. If you haven't heard from your loved one in a couple of days, give them a call. Let them know that you're thinking about them. If you notice something about them that was a little bit off, let them know you noticed something about them that was a little bit off and you want to help. Depression and bad mental health is a very dark place to be.
Yeah.
So long.
I have one more question, and then we'll turn it over to Donna and Juan. If I sense there's something off with me in terms of depression, how do I get started to seek help? Where's a good place to start?
There's a website called betterhelp.com, and it has psychiatrists and therapists. You can start there. There's also the 988 suicide hotline where you can call and talk to some of the people there. It's just a whole plethora of help out there. You just have to know where to get it. It help is there. And I think the easiest access would be the 988 number. Mm-hmm. That's the suicide prevention hotline.
So two things that I gathered is one, check on your loved ones. You know, whether they say it or not, you know, well, I'll say three. When you were talking earlier, I'll go back. When you were talking earlier just about signs, what came to mind is that sometimes it's not even verbal. They may not even verbalize it. It's the nonverbals that you have to pay attention to, right? Even when you said that listening to them, sometimes you're having to listen by just watching their behaviors. Or just a shift of things, right? Yeah. And then two, like you said, checking on them because you just don't know. But three, I'm gonna ask this: depression isn't age specific or gender specific, is it?
No, it isn't. You have kids as young as 8 years old that battle depression. It's usually genetic, something that is passed on from one generation to the next. And when I think back over my own life, when I look back at my sisters and brothers, some of them chose to self-medicate. They didn't seek out therapeutic help. They chose to get help, you know, either in the bottle or drug abuse. So it's always there. It's been there for a long time. We've just not been paying attention, especially in the African American community. You know, we think, oh, she drinks too much. Well, what's the reason behind that? What is she numbing? What's going on with her that she has to do drugs? That's the way I look at it is people do drugs for a reason. They're numbing something. They don't want to feel something. And by the grace of God, I just have not chosen to go that route. But definitely there is no age.
How is it triggered? And in your case, was there something you can identify it?
Yes. Go back. In my case, mine started when I was 17. I witnessed the murder of my sister. And years later, I developed post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, and here recently I've developed anxiety. So certain triggers can be a memory of that day. Certain smells that I smell that will remind me of that event can take me to that place. Something someone says, or something someone doesn't say, something that they do or they don't do. You just never know. There can be so many triggers. A sudden move, a change in jobs, the loss of a loved one, just feeling lost in life, not having that guidance that you need. Those are the main triggers.
Yeah. Donna, you have something you want to talk to?
Oh wow. You said so much. Definitely thank you for being here, Ms. Campbell. You said something that especially about individuals who, they may self-medicate, whether it be drugs, alcohol. And that's something like I always think about. I'm like, no one gets up and say, I want to be an alcoholic. I want to be a drug addict. Like no one does that, no. So like what you're saying is when you see individuals who they're in that dark place, those behaviors, like you're saying, it's something deeper going on that they're trying to cover up. And have to deal with. But you said something earlier, and hopefully I can go back to that, that struck me, because I can't wait to meet you and have even a deeper conversation with you about this. Is you said you're an empath.
Yes.
Can you explain that to us a little bit more, and or our audience, what an empath is?
Sure, I'll do my best. Being an empath simply means that you feel things more strongly than the average person. You can feel others' energy when you walk into a room. You can tell whether something is not quite right with the person, or if someone is having a really, really rough time in life. You can pick up on that energy. You feel that. I call it internalizing. You take on the emotions of your surroundings. It is no fun being an empath. I wish I could change that about myself, but I can't. It's just who I am. But yeah, being an empath is daunting.
And I'm asking you this for a reason.
Okay.
And being that you know this about yourself, and I would say it's like a gift and a blessing all at the same time. But does that affect your day-to-day emotional and mental state? And how do you handle that, if it does?
It can. I have to be very careful about who I align myself with, who I allow into my circle. I have to speak up for me first, take care of me first, and not expose myself to negativity. I mean, things are going to happen in life, and I might be out shopping one day and I can pick up on somebody's energy. I'm not talking about that, but I have to try to live on purpose and protect my energy on purpose. Yeah. Did I answer your question? I'm sorry.
No, you did. No, you did.
Yeah, I have to be intentional about my surroundings. I have to be very intentional about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like the day-to-day, moment to moment, once you're out and about, having to be intentional about.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead. Say what you say.
I was going to say I was someplace a couple of weeks ago, and everybody was just in an uproar. There were arguments in one area of the room, and another person was not doing good, and the energy was just bad. And I picked up on all of that, and it didn't hit me until later on that day, because I was feeling really bad that afternoon. I was like, where is this coming from? And I remembered that earlier that day, there was a bunch of turmoil in the room. And I picked up on that. I took that in, and I don't mean to do that. And it's something that I pray for daily, is to get rid of that.
Before I answer this next question, I wanted to, you said that, you talk about change. And one thing I will say is there's one thing you should never change: your bravery.
I agree.
You are that and more. Your commitment and dedication to continue to push forward and just do it. But you said something about about energy. How do you suggest someone who is going through these challenges protect their energy? How do they do that?
I think that if you're having a challenge protecting your energy, the first thing you should do is ask yourself, who's in my circle? Because having that positive energy should not come as something difficult for you.
Okay. And how do I ask someone if they're okay? Because sometimes these questions are not easy to ask.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, they're not easy. try to put yourself in their shoes. Would you want someone to call you and check on you? And if you can't put yourself in their shoes, love, just pure love, loving someone, taking care of those in your life, your family, your friends, your associates, just showing compassion, just human compassion is easy. A phone call or a text message, even to say, hey, I'm thinking about you. Hey, I thought about you last night. Or what can I come by? Can I bring you dinner? Little things like that. You can make it not so formal as to say, hey, you look depressed the other day. You can call and say, hey, can I get you out of the house?
Right.
Because
Yeah.
you don't want to go anywhere when you're depressed. And you kind of need people to motivate you. So you can do it in a way that is not very formal, as to, like I said, telling someone, you know, I noticed that you're depressed or that you're having a hard time and I'm here for you, which those words are good. But if you don't want to be formal about it and you just kind of want to segue into that, the best thing to do is invite them out to dinner or go over and cook them dinner. Just it's the little things that matter.
Showing up for them. Just
Showing up.
Yeah.
Showing up for them.
Presence.
Yeah. Yes. Because you got to understand that they feel, a person who's battling mental illness, they already feel like they're a burden. So the last thing they need is for their loved ones to not want to be there for them.
So you don't suggest waiting on them to reach out and say anything if you pick up, because they might not ever do that, right?
Right. I don't suggest waiting. A friend of mine, I hadn't heard from her in a couple of weeks, and I just so happened to call her. Actually, with this funny story, I was about to blow dry my hair, and God spoke to me so clear and said, call this person. And I said, okay, I'm going to finish blow dry my hair first. And he said, no, call her now. So I called my friend, and sure enough, she was having a rough time. She was actually thinking about taking her life. So once again, there's that purpose. Ding, ding, ding. Paula, this is what you're supposed to do. This is the word of your testimony. And as you know, we overcome by the word of our testimony.
Yes. Yes.
Let
me ask, go ahead, Donna.
Oh, Donna, you go. Your turn. Take it, Donna.
No, because, you know, it's like, we're living in such a time now where we see everything. It's relationships are built through texting. They're built through social media. You know, so there are times when, you know, and of course, a lot of times people are posting things on social media, like I'm happy, taking nice pictures and things of that nature, when they could be falling apart, right? So it's, you know, like, what suggestions could you possibly give to our audience and even us, as far as the times that we're living in now, how to really build better relationships without necessarily physically seeing individuals, because everything is so it's so, like I said, it's so text, you know, on the Facebook or Instagram or whatever, you know, that even sometimes you text someone and you can't see the face behind the text.
Right.
You know, so it's like, even if you're having like phone conversations, do you have suggestions, like certain things that you would probably pick up on if you're speaking to someone, you know, that you can tell, okay, something is not quite right? Because like I said, we're living in such a world now where you may not really see your family member as much.
I think when answering the question about if you're on the phone and you hear something in their voice, you'll probably notice that they don't have a whole lot to say. That's also a symptom of depression, the inability to concentrate, to even put words together, to talk. So it's important that you hone in on your skills for relationship building. Showing up in person. letting that person know, okay, I'm coming over right now. You don't even have to let them know that you know something is wrong. Just be there in person, show up for that person. Like you said, that we live in a society now where everything is through text message, through social media, which that in and of itself will make you depressed. Yeah, that'll make you depressed. So I think we have to get back to that door to door, face to face, person to person relationships. We have to get back to that and not rely so much on social media, because we all know the social media lies. We hide behind that. You just have to be real, be honest and open, and allow your loved one or whoever you're talking to be honest and open, and allow them to feel safe enough to talk to you. That is so important, is for someone with mental illness to feel safe, where they're not going to be judged, they're not going to be ridiculed, they are going to be accepted and loved and doted on.
Right.
Yeah. And talking about the family, you know, and having that connection, connectivity, you know, getting away from the social media piece. In your home, do you have these conversations, you know, with your children, your grandchildren?
I definitely do. Not my grandchildren, but well, that's something that I'm praying about. But definitely my children, we have that dialogue all the time. They'll call and say, "Mom, you know, how are you doing?" Because they know when I've been in a dark place that I might not call them. So if their phone doesn't ring and they don't see my number for a while, they'll give me a call, and we have that dialogue. And if I'm open and honest and free with what I have to say, so I let them know I'm not in a good place right now, and they appreciate that, because they would worry if I didn't come up front and say, "Listen, this is what is going on with me, and I thank you for calling." So I'm definitely open and honest with my children, with my husband, which is sometimes difficult. He's a pastor, so everything is spiritualized. But so I'm having to teach him a lot about mental health and how real it is. Yeah.
That's good, because I've
the spiritual part is not real, right?
what I took from what you said, Mrs. Kimber, it's almost like on both sides, where of course on the outside paying attention to the signs, the possible signs, right? But then also if you're able to, and you're that person that may be suffering or going through, if you're able to be as honest as possible. And you know what I'm saying, like to tell them exactly what it is. Like you just said, I like that. I'm not feeling okay today. Or this is not a good day for me, you know. So I like this. So it puts the, you know, where both parties can be involved. Like, okay, I noticed this, and then that person is like, yeah, you noticed, right? Because I wasn't feeling good, you know. And then I feel like it kind of like it engages and brings them into the dialogue. I would say this, that what has helped me, just to share real short, is that my family has a family thread, and we literally text every day. Somebody, it has my mom, her siblings, and their kids. So me and my siblings and all of my cousins, and they're across from Florida to Oklahoma, you know. And oftentimes it could just be anything. Somebody might say, "Hey, I'm about to take a test. Can you pray for me?" Or, "Hey, y'all, my cousin her and her husband was putting their house on the market. We're about to do this, hoping it you know didn't sit for long." And so we sent prayers. We was like, "We got you," and then it so just stuff like that. And I remember my cousin in particular texted me privately one day. She was like, "Hey, you've been real quiet in the family thread. You good? I just wanted to check on you." And that meant a lot, you know, because she noticed, you know. So I get you when you say check on people, because I mean, in my mind, I'm not really paying attention to it, and I was going through something, but you don't think that people pick up on that. And so when she reached out and said, "Hey, you've been real quiet. What's going on?" So
yeah, when you're going through, a lot of times with depression, you feel unseen. So for somebody to come up and say, "Hey, I noticed that you were a little down today, or you weren't very talkative. What's going on with you? Can we talk about it?
Yeah.
Keeping that dialogue open is very important.
So it's important to provide a safe space. I was just asking.
Definitely, definitely. They have. Yeah, you definitely need to feel safe in it, that you have a safe space to, whether you need to cry about it or talk about it. People need to provide a safe place for you to lay your emotional baggage down, because you don't want to have that fear of being ridiculed, of being judged. And I've been on both sides of the coin where people are saying, oh, your faith is just not where it should be. You shouldn't be feeling that way. And those that telling someone that they shouldn't feel a certain way, that's a big no-no, because you can't tell anyone how they feel or how they should feel. Their feelings are real, whether they are real to the person that they're projected upon or not. Their feelings are real. I started a women's group called Talitha Kume. Talitha Kume, which it means little girl live. That was something that God gave me years ago when I was contemplating suicide. And in that, we touch on mental illness, well-being, and I incorporate practical things in that ministry, as well as shopping sprees, taking care of yourself physically, beauty regimens. It's just taking care of the whole person. That is what I encompass in Talitha Kume. Little girl live. You don't just live physically, but you live to enjoy your life. Even in the face of depression, it can happen.
I like that. So you speak to the whole person.
Exactly.
Is there anything we can do on this platform to support you?
Come to my conference. I haven't scheduled another one yet, but I would love to have you all come to my conference, the Talitha Kume conference.
I would love to be there.
Where will that happen? Where will that be?
That will be in North Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We'll be there.
So we'll talk more about that and share information with us, and we can get the word out as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's very important stuff there. Important stuff. As we're having this conversation, there are so many individuals out there who get to show your level of bravery and coming out and talking about this as you have. And I've had conversations with you before, and you've always been to the point and direct about it and owning the situation. What is that one thing that you can say to that individual who is just not there? What that could trigger them and prompt them into getting and starting to recognize the situation as it is?
I would say to that person, their life depends on it. I mean, it's just that simple. Depression takes lives. So I have to say to that person, this is a matter of life or death, your life or your death, and I'm here to help you through that.
That's good.
Can't get no more serious than that, can it?
No, you can't. I mean, it's serious. Depression is taking lives every day.
It's a real thing.
I want to ask you something on the flip side. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Now I know, a lot of, and I think like a lot of people, there might be a little stigma to think that someone who's depressed is always sad and withdrawn and all these things. But what happened to that person who's overly happy?
I call that a functioning. Yeah, when they're in that dark place, but yet they present themselves to be happy, I call that a functioning depressant. And I've been on that side of the coin too, where I don't want to feel what I'm feeling, and I don't want to impact the lives of my loved ones negatively. So I walk around with a smile on my face, pretending that everything is okay, when on the inside I'm screaming, help, help, help. It's not a very good place to be. It's because I like to focus from a place of honesty. And when you're walking around with that face on, you're not being honest. You're not being true to yourself. And it's really self-harming to do that, because you go to bed that night and you're still in that place. You wake up the next morning, you're still in that place. You're not being true to yourself. You're not facing it head on. So you definitely have those who are withdrawn and have all the symptoms of depression. And then you have the functioning depressant, of those who carry on with life as if nothing has happened. And those are the people that I really worry about, because those are the ones that tend to commit suicide very quickly.
Yeah.
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 And the one thing people say is, once they've committed suicide, is, I had no idea. You know, she was always so happy. She was always so happy. I had no idea that they were going through such a thing. Well, that person was a functioning depressant.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Just want to remind our listeners that we're on In the Spotlight, the show where real talk, unfiltered conversation is what it's all about. And what you're hearing tonight is real talk.
Yeah.
You know, not some lightweight stuff. This is real stuff. This is about life. And what Ms. Campbell is sharing with us tonight is so powerful, so important, not just for us and the moderators, but for those out there who will be watching this live and the replay. And the replay as well.
Absolutely.
You know, so I encourage anyone who's watching to share the live and share the replay as well, because this information is not for us to hold on to. It's information for us to pass on. And that is why Ms. Campbell came on here to share it tonight. So real stuff, real talk, unfiltered stuff, and what it's all about. So please share the live, guys. Please share the live.
Like and share, like and share.
One thing I wanted to share with the audience, and I went back and forth about whether or not I should share this, but January 7th, I actually had a suicide attempt. And I was taken to the hospital, and the doctors and nurses said that I should not be here with what I took. But I was in such a place of despair, and I was tired. I was really, really tired. I was just tired of life in general, just tired of living, just tired of trying to make it day by day. Well, when I woke up, didn't die, obviously. That's when I said to God, okay, Lord, you want me to do something with depression, suicide, ideation, anxiety. You want me to get the word out there and tell people that this is something that will take you out if you're not careful. It definitely will. There is no reason I should be here right now. It has to be God.
Yeah. And purpose.
And the scan was scheduled this program. The scan was scheduled to be on this program, and she didn't come on. So maybe that could have been one of the reasons why she didn't come on. But we're so happy to have you on tonight.
Yes.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you for sharing that. That's very.
Thank you
that's
for
very
having
great.
me. Thank you. I'm glad to share.
Perfect.
Glad to share.
Yeah, and that's the essence of this program. You know, we bring, and I keep talking about the program because it's so important that it is understood that what we do here is life stuff. That's what we're talking about. This is not about just hanging out and just to be on the air. There's a purpose to be served. And I think, Ms. Campbell, you really exemplified that tonight.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate you coming on, and especially after what you've been through recently.
Yeah.
As you just revealed. You know, again, it's another example of how brave you are.
Courage.
Thank you. Thank you.
Because I know when I reached out to you, I did it with a little bit of hesitancy because I understand things that could have been happening, and you, instantly you said, "I want to come on."
Yes. Yes.
Instantly she said, "No, what she just went through." Instantly she said, "I'm available next week."
Mm-hmm.
She went through. So, what does that say? Here's a
I'm
person.
not running from my purpose anymore. When purpose calls, I got to answer. Like I said, my arms are too short to box with God. I'm tired.
You have had your collision with your purpose all over again.
Yes, all over again.
You know,
that's big.
Yeah. And you're saying his purpose comes back full circle, catch up with you.
Full circle.
Full circle. That's your saying. And for our audience, our listeners to know, Miss Campbell will be live March 2nd.
March 2nd.
March 2nd.
Shallow High.
Powerful chapter in the book. Powerful chapter. Yeah. Campbell's chapter. Powerful. I'm not going to give it away. You're going to have to buy the book to get it.
That's right.
But I do want to say this, Miss Campbell. You know, we go back years.
Way back.
Yeah, I was a kid. But your life, I've always felt strong about this. And it's funny you say that because you've always been like a comedic break for me when I wasn't around you. I was telling a joke or just making people laugh. But even so now, I just want to say to reassure that your story is even more powerful. And I appreciate you sharing it, like just, personally sharing it, just the courage and the bravery that it took to not even just share it here live, but even like you said, to even say, okay, God, I'll do it. And I think we don't realize how much strength it takes to just say, okay, to tell God yes. So thank you.
Yeah.
I guess I'm trying to say thank you for your yes. We needed to hear your story. Is so big. I mean, it's live, and so many people will hear it. And you're talking about purpose, and it's already spreading. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
It's major.
Yeah.
it's I'll say this. I was on my I do my content, and I was talking about anxiety the other day, and one thing I just kept feeling led to push is that it's a real thing.
It definitely is real.
Even talks about I'll say this short of it was I was talking about King David, and when the Bible says that he encouraged himself in the Lord, but right before he had to encourage himself, it said he was greatly distressed. And I looked up distress, and it says extreme anxiety. So this great man that you hear stories and stories about was experiencing anxiety, where he felt isolated and alone, that he had to go and find his strength by himself. And I really wanted to push that. And it's so funny we're talking about this tonight because I was like, y'all, it's real. Sometimes you have to go find your strength, and so yeah, so it's a real thing, and I want us to, for those who are just believers and Christians and whatever it is, that it's a real thing. You are human, as Miss Campbell touched on. You have emotions and feelings. It's a real thing, and when help is necessary and needed, get help. It's okay, and it's okay to not be okay.
Yes, it's definitely that's one of my mantras. It's okay not to be okay. It's funny that you brought up David. I'm actually working on another book, and I talk about David where he says, all day I soak my couch in tears. That in itself describes depression. I mean, the Bible, when you truly go in and study it, all these great men of God that you hear about, they all had a battle. They all had a battle.
That's powerful. That's good.
And God did not forsake them. God did not frown upon them. He did not tell them, you don't have enough faith. He did not tell them, you're not a good enough Christian. he brought them in. He drew them in with love and kindness.
So can Doc, can we go do it this way? Ms. Campbell, what would you say to those who are out there and they are experiencing extreme levels of anxiety or depression, or even trying to pick up on signs for themselves, but aren't comfortable yet with even bringing it to the attention of others around them, and they're trying to hide? What would that encouragement or that message be?
That message for me would be that there are hotlines that they could call if they're not ready to talk to their family members. We know ourselves better than anyone else, so you know that there's something not quite right. So there's the suicide prevention hotline, the 988 number, and there are other hotlines, and you can go to your local NAMI, which is National Association of Mental Health. You can go to that on the website and Google doctors. BetterHelp.com is a good source.
BetterHelp.
There's a plethora of information out there, and I'm hoping that I'm giving a few of those places that they can go.
Yeah. These are great resources.
Yeah.
Ms. Campbell,
I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you don't feel comfortable talking to your family members, we as African Americans, we grew up in the church. I'm sure all of us did. So talking to your pastor is also another way of another resource.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you were saying, Mr. Stephenson?
No, you're married to a pastor.
Yes.
Pastor. How was that played out in the church with the depression? I'm just curious.
We sometimes go like this. Yeah, I say that we're yin and yang because I approach depression, I think, from a more practical aspect, and he approaches it more from a biblical and scriptural aspect.
Mm-hmm.
But even the Bible says first the natural, then the spirit. Mm. And I have argued that point until I blew in the face. But so he kind of just lets me do my thing, and I let him do his. I just tell people, okay, if you want somebody to lay hands on you, he's your man, not me. I'm going to talk to you practically.
That's real.
That is so real. We could have this conversation all night. And one of the things I've noticed on this platform, we just keep talking, and we're talking for reasons. Right? But before we go, Ms. Campbell, I want to talk to us about your book. You're a best-selling author. Tell us about that.
The book I'm writing about is entitled "Please Turn Down the Silence." I've been working on this book on and off for years, but now I'm finally at a point to where I can actually commit to it. And "Please Turn Down the Silence," that title comes from when I opened the door the morning my sister was murdered. There was a silence that filled the room that was loud. It was a silence that was louder than the greatest thunder. And I go on to talk about how PTSD set in when it was least expected, then depression set in, then anxiety. But I also talk about how I have navigated through life and not let that stop me. I try to be a beacon of light for people in my book.
Wow. And I will add that in this book, A Collision with Purpose in Pursuit of Purpose, Ms. Campbell, your story is first story in the book.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And it's titled A Tragedy
I'm honored.
Well, no, we're honored. We're honored. It's titled A Tragedy Unfolded, I Will Say No More.
Okay.
You gotta buy it. You gotta get the
like
book.
that.
And understand that by buying this book, you're also helping a student somewhere. Okay. $5 of each purchase on our website will go towards the A Collision with Purpose Scholarship Fund. And one, you know something about that. You want to talk about the scholarship fund a little bit?
Yes, and so make sure when you order your book. I can't stress enough that to order your book. But when you do order your book, make sure to order it off the website. Because $5 from the all proceeds, $5 goes towards the scholarship. And we talk about purpose and walking in purpose, and our biggest thing is to ensure that we are helping the youth and young adults on that journey of self-discovery, and so we're able to do that through these scholarships. So you're not just buying the book to do your work, but your work, your commitment to your own work is actually funding a young person's education
somewhere in this world.
Somewhere. Yes.
Absolutely. Donna, any closing words? Anything else you want to ask Ms. Campbell?
No, I just wanted to say, Ms. Campbell, thank you so much for joining us this evening. This has truly been a very heartfelt conversation. We've definitely, I know we're getting so many comments from our viewers about what you have shared with us, and we're just very thankful that, for one, you are here with us.
Absolutely.
in the living, and that you're here to share your experience with us, your life story, and that you have decided to now embrace that calling and the purpose
exactly
that you have on your life, because this is going to impact so many people in our community, to where I'm quite sure they will be able to now feel safe, or if they did not feel safe, find their safe place where they can know that they're safe if they're having a hard day or whatever it is, to know that it's okay to have these moments, to be depressed, to be sad, and not feel ostracized by our community. So what you're doing is more to come. You're just creating your legacy, and I commend you.
Thank you. Yeah. Appreciate that.
One, you have a parting word with Scam?
No, I just wanted to say we appreciate you. Your life and your story matters, and I mean it wholeheartedly. You spoke to so much tonight, and of course, there's still so much to unpack. But just from your real and transparent, candid conversation, I feel personally some healing taking place, just because some things have shifted, just in how I approach and seeing things. So you've helped me, just even sitting on here as a moderator. So your life and your story is like Donna said. This is even at 56, you said, right? It's just the beginning. It's just, so thank you again. Thank you for your yes.
Thank you.
Because others get to live, not just others, you. And we thank God for life that you're here, and then others get to live because of your yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. See a comment there. We overcome by the word of our testimony. Thanks, Mrs. Campbell, from sharing yours. And wow, powerful stuff. And that's from Pastor Laxley Johnson. She's also in the book, another powerful story in the book. And she will be on this platform real soon. And also, Miss Campbell, you will be meeting her real soon.
Okay.
March 2nd. So
March
it's
2nd.
Of good stuff, right?
Good stuff.
Good stuff all the way around. Ms. Campbell, I could say what's already been said, but I just want to say thank you so much, and I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, care about you endlessly, and want to know that the best happens for you every second. So that is my parting word to you. I don't know what else to say, but that we love you. We've known each other for a while, by the way.
For a while, a long time.
We go way back. We go way back. We've known you for a long time, you know, and just so happy that you are again in collision with your purpose.
That's exactly what it feels like, a collision.
You crashed into your purpose.
Crashed and burned. No, I won't say that. I haven't burned.
No, you didn't burn. You crashed. You crashed. And
Yeah.
so it's a good
good.
collision, you know. And I see another comment. Thank you, Mrs. Campbell, for your vulnerability and bravery. Bravery is a big word in your life. It's a big word in your life, and should be in all of our lives. We need to learn lessons from tonight's conversation.
Yes.
You never know how brave you are until you have to be, when there's no other choice.
Ain't that the truth? You never know how brave you are. So, Ms. Campbell, when we sign off, if you could, when we go off live, if you could stay on for a second.
Okay.
When we end the thing, because I know we can't continue. You know, we've been on now for, oh my goodness, oh my gosh, according to Donna.
Hour and a half.
We another comment. Only burning is a refiner's fire. That is it. Many of us truly collide with purpose. Wow. It's big stuff going on, guys. Big stuff. You know, I can imagine what it's going to be like at the colloquium March 2nd.
Oh, wow. I look forward to it. I look forward to it.
Anna and I went to the venue today. It was empty, of course, right? We went to the venue, Shiloh High School, their theater. Nice location, nice venue. And we walked it, and my goodness. Oh my gosh, according to Donna, this place is waiting for us.
Yeah.
The brave word in there. It's
going to take place in there.
Yeah. Exciting. It's not. I'm not thinking about it as a book launch. It's not. This is just incidental. It's about what we're going to talk about. It's about the word. It's about the
history in making.
Yeah, it's about the lives we're going to change there and all that good stuff. So we're going to have students in there. We're inviting students to come in and just join us. So it's a mix, generations of everything. It's a mix-up. It's a good mix-up. Great mix-up. So I don't know what else to say, guys. Donna, you know, you take us out, Donna.
All righty. I just want to say thank you once again, Ms. Campbell, for joining us. Thank you, Juan, for driving by.
I have a public service announcement.
Okay.
Juan, what's happening this Thursday?
Hey guys, this Thursday at 7:30, Bridging Generations, Voices of Men. We're at it again every week. Join us, women and men, you know, as we get just to talk and hear from varying perspectives of different men and their stories and their ups and downs and just what they are, their outlook on where they are in life and just sharing wisdom and experience. So this Thursday, 7:30, same time, same place.
Bring it on.
All right.
It's gonna be powerful. And who we have on this Thursday?
One of our special guests is a mentee of mine, Michael Johnson. Great young man, recent college grad, now a assistant women's basketball coach. So he's always been about, you know, being a light in dark places, and so he is thriving and excited about the change he's bringing to his college team. So excited to have him on.
Nice.
All right. So Donna, close us up. When you're done, I will hit the video. When you're done.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So once again, everyone, we thank you for joining us this evening. And if you have not purchased your tickets for the colloquium March 2nd, go ahead and do so. And as you can see, we have had several collaborators who have joined us. And you just need to be in that room, because I guarantee you, your life is going to change just by being present in that room. So if you have not gotten your tickets, go ahead and get it. You can go ahead at the website, acollisionwithpurpose.com, to purchase your tickets. And if you purchase your tickets, you also get a copy of this powerful book. And that is all we have for you this Monday evening.
All right. Thank
Bye.
you.
A collision with purpose. In pursuit of purpose.